All right. Welcome back, everybody. I know last time we were having some trouble with the stream quality, but I think I've finally got that worked out. My brother has his own internet now, so I get all the bandwidth to myself. So hopefully this stream will be little smoother this time around. I think it will. I'm trying some multi-streaming this time, so let me know if it's like shaky for any reason, but I think we should be good. All right. Give me one moment. It is an oven in this apartment, so I'm gonna go change the AC real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that. Alright. So, last time we were working on a puzzle room where the goal of the room was to essentially have the player play through it 2 times, but each time is different. Like the geometry changes. I'll take you over to that real quick. Yeah, so this is the room. The layout of the room's looking pretty good, I think. Ooh, that needs to be changed. Anyway, so let's go ahead and disable the water real quick so we can get a better look at it. Right, so the idea is when you initially come into this room here is going to have some doors on it that are locked. They're not powered, so you can't open them, right? All these pylons are going to be in the ground. About like that. So when you first enter this room, you're going to notice that there's 2 separate sides of the room. There's going to be an electrical panel over here, and then a cord that kind of like trails this way and up over to here, right? But the cord will have been like snapped and mangled and chewed on by some of our like grub enemies. So in order to activate the power to this, it needs some way to conduct the electricity, right? There will be a separate cord that is trailing this way over to this door over here. So when you activate the electricity, this door over here will open, but these will not, right? And from there, you got to figure out, it's like, okay, well, the cord's leading me somewhere. It must have something to do with the puzzle. This room is a water cooling area for essentially like computer servers or like pylons or rods or whatever. Doesn't really have to make a lot of sense, right? But the idea is these, once the water is released, these come up to like cool, which will allow the player to jump across the top of the water. But the water will then be electrified because the power is now coursing through all of this water. But the good thing about that is it will now power these doors because the cord that's like leaking into the water will be accepting a charge, which will allow you to open the door and finally get one of the key cards from this room that will allow you to unlock part of... This is not full art at the moment, but it's going to be like a blast door with like 3 different locks on it. And the way we're designing this level is, you know, there's going to be multiple routes that you can take and multiple options when it comes to solving puzzles and unlocking that door. So the door is going to take 3 key cards to open, but there's going to be probably 4 or 5 in the level, so it's not the same every time you play it. Just because I know, you know, if I'm playing a game and it just kind of feels the same every time, I'm not going to want to play those levels again. That shadow bias needs to be adjusted. Right, this is where we left off last time, where I kind of wanted to explain how the sand got into this arena, right? Because originally it was like all tile floor, but this facility is deep underground, and this facility is like a testing facility and like a conversion facility, and it's just basically it's an evil lab, and the Soviets are doing like crazy experiments on these like grub type creatures that are found native to this planet, but their cries can be heard through the walls, and you know, a massive sandworm is like trying to like break into the walls and like, you know, allow the grubs to escape. So this facility is basically falling apart, so sand is like leaking in all over the place because it's built under partially a mountain and then also like partially desert. So that's just one of these instances where like this was like an air vent at one point, and then, you know, the sand came rushing through so hard it broke the tiles, and then it broke out the wall underneath, and it kind of flooded this pylon room. But anyway, so the first time when you fight through this arena, all these pylons are going to be down. And then, from there, all those grub-like creatures will pop up out of the sand. And I kind of opened up this area here, so it's more of like a traditional arena. You're not going to be able to run here, like there's going to be a blocked door. And I'm thinking there may be like some sort of like lift or something you have to take to get up here. So, because I want to make you fight like a certain number of grubs in this room. So that's something I'm considering doing. All right. So, with all that information, this room is more or less done, except for like a trigger standpoint, right? Like the layout's good. I think it's fine. These pylons, we need a couple more over here, right? So when the water's electrified, they have more of a route to traverse this room. In fact, I'm thinking I might even make it where some of these pylons are like stuck up because they couldn't go back down because of the sand. I don't know though. I'm kind of winging this as I go, to be honest. This is not normally how I do level design. Normally I'll have like a sketch or a stronger idea of what I want everything to be before I go in, but sometimes it's fun to just kind of, you know, go in and test some stuff. Okay, so This will be one of those ones that are like stuck up. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. See, I don't think this area should have islands. Oh. I'm having internet trouble again. We were gonna adjust that shadow bias. Again, a little bit of light bleed. That's the problem with like having these like really thin walls. Is on lower shadow settings, get this like really bad light bleed. It's basically it's fine on anything other than the lowest setting, but I kind of want the lowest setting to look good too. Not everyone has super beefy computers. I know I don't. Maybe. That maybe, yeah. Only problem is I don't want these to get in the way of fighting the grubs, so I gotta be like really careful with my placement. There just needs to be enough of them where you can actually like jump across them, right? Put one like there. And then... Ooh, this doesn't make sense, right? Because this door... Not door, this wall is like collapsed on it, so... I might just extend this out. Or I guess I could... Send these over here. As long as it's not like super hard. Because you know the main point of the game isn't like jumping puzzles, right? It's like shooting and rolling around and punching enemies and, you know, just kind of experiencing a cool environment and talking to kooky characters. Also, a lot of people just don't have the hand-eye coordination for something like this, and yeah, where it's like with shooting or combat, they can kind of get by on a lower difficulty, but there is no lower difficulty for a hand-eye coordination task. It's either you can do it or you can't. Oh, see, like I could barely make that joke. Not joke, jump. Oh, yep. Yeah, and if I were to be down in here, I would have been electrified and dead. Oh, these like panels look really cool under the water. Who's knocking at my door? Hold on, I will. Hey, welcome back. Sorry about all that. That was, how do I even describe that situation? So, I just had a package delivered. Had my address on it. Not my package. So, yeah, I don't know what that was all about. I tried to like argue with the UPS driver. They're like, no, this is your address. I'm like, yeah, that's my address. And they're like, are you sure there's not anyone else in there? I'm like, yeah, pretty sure. Live alone. Unless I checked, unless, you know, someone living in my walls is having packages addressed here. Got my own resident rat man. Getting IKEA couch sleeves sent to my address. So too far of a jump. Trying to find like a good like I know the saying there's nothing more permanent than a placeholder asset, but looking at these like white cubes bothers me. Yeah, you can't make that jump. That one you can. You know, I said I didn't want these to like pop up out of the sand because it just won't look good, but if it's a toggle and you don't even see the water or these like pop up, like maybe you have to like hold a button while it happens. I can probably get away with it and it not really bother people. Okay, that's good enough, I think, because this way you have two options to get around it. This should be here. Because I kind of want it to be like equidistant, right? So it's somewhat a 14 path. can't really put it here because it just logically it wouldn't make sense. Oh, you know what? I probably could just have these ones be stuck up, right? Because this area isn't really part of the arena. I mean, it's part of the arena, but it's not like the main grub fighting area, right? So yeah, okay. Yeah, I think the ones in this like really sandy area should be probably stuck. In which case I don't actually want you jumping across over to here. I suppose if I did something like this, that one's probably fine. I don't really like the placement of it there, though. And then this one could be stuck here. And then maybe like another one there. Oh, it's actually, yeah, no, it'd be like right there. Can you make that jump though? Oh yeah, you definitely can. Well, this is just the optimal route then. Actually, you know what? Maybe not. If there's a bunch of drones like fighting you over there. Let's get all these up too. I need another variant of this material where it's like glowing. Ooh, no, I don't want him that high. Yeah. To be honest, I could probably do it where they're just up all the time, but that's, to me, it's not as interesting. And it doesn't make for as good of like an arena for a ground-based enemy. I might be trying to do too much. Hey, 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 what's up, what's up? Welcome to the stream, Lawless. Yeah, it's coming along. Working out the whole server room idea, basically. Not server room, but like pylon cooling room. And yeah, finally got multi-streaming set up. Imagine that. It only took, to be honest, not too bad. It took a month. You've had it going for a while, though. But yeah, yeah, I was just talking about the design of like this area over here versus these. Because these, I designed them to where it looks like they have a spot that they can like rest and come back out of. But with the sand in this area, it doesn't look like these can, like it doesn't really make sense that they'd be able to shoot back down or push up through the sand. But I need the player to have a way to jump their way back over once they activate the water, right? Because I can't have them touching the water. And I wanted to give them two routes, one way over here and one way over there. These I'm kind of fine with them being like old and stuck in place. So they're just up the entire time, in which case you could, you know, jump that way and then go to there. So I might just, you know, still have some of these like broken and like kind of like leaning in the sand, right? Just to kind of make for a slightly more interesting arena. Because I want to give you at least something to kind of fight around when you're fighting the grubs. Like, it shouldn't just be completely open, right? And like having these like server pylons is, I think, pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. Broken and clogged with sand. Let me move this real quick so we can see what it's like. Oh, I turned the snap off. I don't want to do that. Yeah, move that way up there. Yeah, like have stuff like this where, you know, you can kind of be like punching the grubs and like trying to get high ground away from them, like dodging them. It's like this area, I kind of feel like it's fine for this to be broken up because this is the edge of the arena, and by the time you get here, you're kind of running away from the grubs anyway. Yeah. I really like that idea. Also, these should definitely just be in the ground more. The idea is just to kind of show that the sand came in so fast and heavily through this like air duct. It like rushed in and broke the floor and then even pushed out the panels on this side and filled this entire arena, right? And then, you know, the grubs have kind of made it their home because they like the heat from like the servers. That's like, you know, permeating through the sand. And then, you know, so the first time you fight in this arena, I'm thinking there's a door maybe over here, and you have to like fight a certain number of grubs until they cough up a key. Or maybe I just like let you... No, actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, so the first door you have to go to is over here, right? I need to either give you like some sort of like lift that can take you up, or we need like some sort of ladder system. But basically the player can immediately go over here, right? These doors are all going to be locked because they're not powered. This room here, when you turn the power on, there's going to be two different cables. One of the cables is going to go from like here on the ground and then up to this door to like a power box. That one's going to be chewed. And then the other one is going to run along the ground through here. and kind of up this wall to this door, so this door will open, right? So whether they realize that they have to turn the water on or not, they'll notice that one of the cords is active and the other one is like sparking, right? It's like a subconscious thing. It's like, okay, well, there's a chewed cord and there's one that's not chewed. So I just turned on the power, so I'm going to follow the one that's not chewed. And, you know, it's going to make a sound off in the distance of the door opening up. And while they do that, they have to fight through, you know, grubs in this area. And when they finally get to here, they're going to flip a switch. It's a pump. And I'm thinking we just make them, like, hold it, right? Like, maybe it's just, like, something you turn, or you just have to hold a button on it and watch, like, a level fill up. And that way we can kind of have these things over here shoot out of the ground without animating them. Like, we can just, you know, snap them into position. Same thing with the water. Considering it's just, you know, the water and these things moving up to a certain level, I'm sure we could animate it, but I feel like it would just be so much easier to instantiate a version that is just in a different spot. Like, disable those ones there, pop these ones in, turn the water on while the player isn't looking. Make like a water sound, right? And then, you know, you gotta get to work on the grub now. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I designed 2 of the arenas in this level to include grub combat. But yeah, once you activate, so since you've activated the electricity first, and the wire that's like chewed up now has a way to send electricity through the water to this one here. This door now gets powered as soon as you activate the door over there. Activate the water over there. So, but it has the side effect. Oops, missed the jump. It has the side effect of also activating pretty much equal difficulty, to be honest. Comes down to what's best for gameplay. Animating the pilots. No, see, that's actually not going to affect gameplay, right? Because it's just an aesthetic thing. Because they're gonna go up either way. It's just a matter of, like, do we want to do it off screen, or do we want to, like, show the water flooding in and the pylons, like, coming up? We can go the extra mile. I feel like that's a, you know, post vertical sliver McSpacebiff thing. Oops. Yeah, anyway, so once you're here, all this water is electrified, right? And so the grubs that were once spawning in the mud are no longer spawning because they're all dead. They're, like, either disintegrated or, like, at the bottom of this area. But because that other area here has power, this room where all the doors now open, drones now flood in from that area, and now you have to fight drones while kind of jumping across all this water here. This was not like this. Oh, you know what? This can be like one of the ones that doesn't go down. Yeah, that'd be fine. Then that. So these two would always be up. Yeah, I'm really digging the general aesthetic of all this. Actually, no, we would want this to be all the way up because I don't want people to try and like jump up to here first. In which case I need to just dupe that. I don't like that it's like... That's fine, I guess. Do that, and then move this over one. Move this over one, and then this one over one. There you go. And then I'll do like an off-kilter one. Just for like visual flavor. But also kind of what I'm thinking is it's for visual flavor, but someone who's like kind of good at the game would be able to kind of take a shortcut by dodge jumping from there to there. I like that kind of stuff where it's like, you know, give players who are a little bit more adept at the game a way to traverse it quicker. I don't know if I can make that jump. Let's see. I'm gonna grab my gun. Pretty much. Oop. Yeah, I guess I should see if it's possible with the air dodge and without the air dodge. Ooh, it's so close. I bet I could do it in third person. Because you get a little bit more of a jump in third person. Which I do think, the more I think about it, originally the difference was going to be so big between third person and first person in terms of like speed. But I think they should probably be the same. Until we make like a really distinct difference, or if we're going to do that, they shouldn't be like 20% off, right? Okay, so you can jump from there to there. Okay, it's possible. I know it's possible. I just gotta raise it a little bit, which doesn't make sense why it would be. I don't want it to be taller. I want it to be like, oh, you know what? No. This is how it would go because that's where the sand is pushing it out. And that gives player closer to jump and then further to jump out. Okay. I think you can almost definitely do this, right? This is such a big part of level design that just takes so long. It's just like testing stuff like this. It's like you want to know for sure it's possible. I wonder if I got like a running start and did it, I could probably do it. So, like, nope. Alright, let's try normal jumping puzzle way. this, and then you like do like a bit of a sprint jump, and then that's way too high. Yeah, I'd have to put like another shelf here, which I don't see why not. Let me do that. Only problem is I don't really have a good aesthetic reason for this to be here. It would almost just be better if there's another pylon. Oh, you know what? Having one that breaks line of sight here is probably good anyway, so. Yeah. Okay. Then. And you could even like make it kind of lower because it's closer. Yeah, I'm really happy with like how this room is turned out. Oh, what happened there? Did I hit the... I think I hit the ceiling. See that? Alright, just stopped holding shift for some reason. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then, you know, there's just the more obvious and easy route. But it takes longer. Ooh, that was nice. I can jump from there to here, but I can't. You know what? I might be able to if I get like a... It's definitely possible, but I'd have to like cut back over. Kind of almost like lag jump. Oh, come on. I can definitely get this, right? Well, anyway, especially with like an air dodge. We'll just shake these up a little bit so they don't look as like good. I don't know why that happens sometimes, where like after you land or like roll, it like puts your speed down to like 1%. It's very, very odd. Such a like unusual thing to happen, but it in my time of developing it happens enough to notice. It's probably like one of the weapons modifiers. Yeah, what? It's like after I land a certain way. Very, very weird. And then I want to put like some busted up ones in the corners, right? Oh, that's how I let the player get up there. I make them just jump up there. You put a bunch along on the wall. I didn't even think about that. I just gotta move these ones over. You know what? It's probably a bad idea to have these here. Because I want you, as the player, to have to go around there, and if they can just run along that catwalk, it's kind of a problem, because they can just avoid all the grubs. I guess if I put a door here, it wouldn't be that bad, because they'd still have to drop down the arena. What to do, what to do. Yeah, I think I kill these. Guy. Something like this. Make this just like a window. Oops. Rotate these. Working with all these like metal panels makes me excited to work on Deadlock. I think that'll be fun. Because VR level development it's so different. One thing that's like super underutilized in VR, I think, is verticality. Like a lot of games don't make you look up, but looking up and having like a sense of scale of being like under something huge is just super cool. Like it doesn't have to affect the gameplay area, right? But I don't know, like having that like grandiose feeling. I just think it's neat. I'm gonna borrow this. Drag that over here. That. Rotate this. Snap that. Oh, that's right. It was that's probably fine. Because it's still a catwalk. It's just not. Are these the wrong way? Something about the normals just doesn't feel right. Oh. just a minor thing. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, and then I'm going to make a quick little kind of staircase of these things, I guess. I'm going to change the diameter of all these. They shouldn't be exactly the size of the squares because they should be able to come out of whatever hole or decal I'm going to use for them. So let's see. Negative 2.3. Negative 2.3. They all negative. Oh, doesn't matter. I want to make it to where I can have one up against a wall and it'd be fine. So let's do negative 2.25. Negative 2.25. Not quite. Negative 2. Negative 2. Problem is it's not as much space to jump on, but these look more like pylons now. Yeah, these were kind of beefy. Oh no, this is still plenty of space. I just didn't have any character in the scene for reference. Why? It's like landing on a slope that does it. That's interesting. It's like I consistently land here and it does it. Something after like a sprint jump and then landing on a slope causes it to break the movement. I don't know why. It's kind of a problem though. I wonder if it has something to do with like the dodge function. Because like maybe I'm trying to just like hit shift again too soon. Okay, we'll move these. There, then do something like have a couple of these along the wall where you can kind of hopscotch your way up. these where the player can definitely jump across them. I don't know why I would want the player to be able to come back to this room. Maybe a secret or something, so I guess I can cut in that way. Yeah, they can jump from there, so that's fine. I need to connect to Perforce. How's the stream quality, by the way? Is it holding up tonight? Yesterday I was having some real trouble. I guess I could just look, see if it's buffering. Seems okay. Yeah, the good news is my brother got his own internet today, so that's less devices eating up all my bandwidth. Ooh. Ooh. Dang, I had it and then I goofed. Low global illumination is always interesting, so you don't get any bounce lighting. Man, it makes everything super dark. Well, good thing we're using lumen. I think maybe we'll optimize it more later to use the standard global illumination, but yeah, making it look good for both regular GI and lumen is actually really difficult, because the lighting affects one way or the other, right? I'm kind of fine this being a one-way jump, because there's not really a reason for them to come back this way. Like, the level can be done in a lot like a non-linear fashion, but like once you're done with an area, there's not really a reason to go back into those arenas. If this was like a true open world area, I would, you know, design things to work more in different ways. Was considering connecting this room to over here. Not for any particular reason, just because it's kind of cool. What the heck is this thing? It's the light? What? Why is it? Wait a minute. It's a card track. Spline that was not attached to anything. Very weird. Right. That's what I was doing. I was like making this like staircase. Oops, I meant to clone that. All right, let's test it out. Already know. Let me. I want the water volume in here while I'm testing. Oop. You know what? I could just I could do this instead. There we go. This needs to come down a little bit. This needs to come up a little bit. That might work. Why is this in the wall? That's not good. Okay, let's try that. Well, what do we have here? I apologize in advance for my French, but I just gotta say, it feels damn good to be back in the level stream. Good to have you back, man. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're building jumping puzzles at the moment for the server room. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so I know you saw this at like the beginning, but this is basically finished now. Minus like things like doors and triggers and stuff, but mostly cosmetic, right? So I'll just grab all these real quick. just real quick to show you kind of what it will look like when you first enter the room. Let's turn that off and then snap these down. Right. So when you first enter this room, it's going to look like this. Oops. That bit right there, there's going to be a closed door, and there's going to be like a power box right next to it, and then a cord that is like draped down and then like cut off right here. So you'll notice that this cord is cut off. That door over there will be shut. This area will be open. There will be a cord that is coming down and is split two ways. One will be chewed up, and that would be the one that would have led to here to power that door. And then the other one leads to that wall over there, and you'll be able to follow the cord on the ground, and it leads to that door that opens up the moment you kick the power on. So when you first land in here, you know, grubs are gonna like they're not gonna do anything, right? It's just gonna be, I'm thinking there's maybe gonna be like a moon bot walking around or whatever, and you know, maybe you can fight him. But I'm gonna dress it up more so it's directing the player's attention towards the left side of the room. But to get up there, you have to jump on all these, you know, I have to adjust it still, but jump on all these like old computer pylons that are like stuck, right? The idea is this was like a server cooling room, and the pylons that are like in the ground are the ones that are like still active. But because this room flooded full of sand, these ones over here, they can't shoot back into the ground. We'll probably make a more destroyed version of them. And all the stuff over here, these can't go back in the ground. The idea is, again, that this facility is miles deep underground and is built under a bit of a desert. They're experimenting on the grubs, right? So a giant sandworm hears the cries, the vibrations through sand, so it's like bashing this place apart. So like sand is like leaking in, sand has like bursted through this air duct. You know, it came in so rapidly, it broke the floor and then even like punched through the bottom here. And it, as a result, kind of filled this server room with sand. And because the servers are, you know, overheating, they can't really work right anymore. So this is essentially a dead server room. So they like shot back into the ground. This area over here is where you're going to activate the electrical system, right? And that's to open this door here, because this is going to be the room that has the key card in it that allows you to unlock part of this blast door. But when you kick the power on, what it does is it like irritates the grubs, and all the grubs like start piling up out of the ground, right? So now you have to fight through a bunch of grubs to get back over to this side of the room and open this door. And then once you open this door, there's going to be a lever where you can fill the room full of water. And because the room's full of water, what ends up happening is that other cord that is like frayed and chewed now is able to send current to this one over here. So these doors open. All the grubs that were left in this room get fried just like that. These doors in the middle of the room will open. But unfortunately, it will also activate a drone spawner, like a hole in the wall, right? So you fought grubs on the ground in the arena the first time through, and you've got like a little bit more area down here. Second time around, you're going to be having to work your way back to pick up the key card in this room over there. but you also have to not touch the water because it will electrocute you now. So it plays and looks completely different on the way back through. So you gotta do like these like kind of crazy jumping puzzles. Try your damnedest not to fall in. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm adjusting the jumps to make sure, you know, it's more likely to be able to be done. Obviously I hate that you miss those streams, but it's crazy how much done all at once. Yeah, no worries, man. You know, life takes priority over my game dev Twitch streams. But yeah, and I'm also doing things like I like adding shortcuts when it comes to like jumps. Like obviously this is a difficult jump to do, but it's a little bit more rewarding because you can kind of circumvent that area over there. Sheds a few seconds off, you know. I mean, heck, I even have a hard time doing it, but it's possible because something like, and then boop, boop, you know, pick up a key card, roll away from the drones, and then, oops, all these would also be up because these are pylons that are not obstructed by the sand. So these would shoot up like that. And allow you to jump your way back out of this arena, right? I am also thinking that activating this area could potentially even open up more like drone spawners in the level that weren't there before. So, you know, it makes the rest of the level a little bit more difficult. But yeah, yeah, like you said, I love designing spaces that change as you do things in the level, right? And it's not, as far as like a design perspective, it's not super difficult, right? It's a series of triggers and toggles. So it would just kind of be a matter of, you know, swapping these in and turning the water on, and then adding a kill plane to the water, and then also, you know, you kick on electrical effects and stuff. It's not easy, right? But it's not insanely difficult, but it completely changes how this area feels and plays, because now you have to, you know, now you're shooting at drones while like having to, you know, dodge their attacks and not jump into the water, and it's just crazy. I love moving through the same space under different contexts, and that water shader is awesome. It is a shader, right? Yes, this is a shader. Well, technically it's a material, but a shader is driving the material. But yeah, it's doing things like caustics, where it's just kind of projecting these like shimmery waves on everything. It does a little bit of distortion based off of the normal and wave movement. It's got a little bit of refraction. It does a little bit of reflection. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And if we go to, let's see, if I kick the effects up, it should technically do like a ray traced reflection. I probably shouldn't have done that because my computer can't really handle it. Not while streaming anyway. But yeah, you can see like the room being reflected, right? I want to see if let me bring a drone in. Oh, nope. Whoops. Come on. Give me the drone. Yeah, for our game, I don't know if we want to do, like... Ooh. I don't know if he is reflecting off of the... That's... Okay, yeah. I remember why. I don't think I have ray traced reflections turned on in like the post effects. But yeah, I think the drones, like having to fight them while jumping across, there's gonna be, obviously there's less of them than there would be for compared to, say, like the grubs, right? Like we can throw a lot of grubs at you. The drones, they're actually not like terribly tough to fight if there's only just like a few of them. Oh man, I gotta turn everything back down. Whoa. Everything got like really stuttery all of a sudden. Probably need to restart the project at this point. Whoa. I might actually do that. Oh, y'all want to see something cool while I restart the project? It'll be like 30 seconds, right? Check out our new intermission stuff. Welcome back. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Yeah, so it's got like the demo reel, and then it, you know, it goes right back above my head, you know, keeps it going, keeps the chat moving so people can just like hang out. Okay, can I just say how freaking sick the accent is? Dude, yeah, I know. Yeah. That was back before people were doing like axes and stuff. I think. So when did God of War come out? I don't remember. I think it was like 2018. But we started working on Denizen in like mid 2017. Yeah, it just like felt really, really good, and we're just like, I don't understand how no one has used like a large axe as like a melee weapon before. And what I liked about it is like you really had to commit to using it, right? Like most melee weapons, it's just, and I love Half-Life, but when every melee action is just, it's just like there's no consequence to a swing. But in reality, you really have to like reel up, and with the axe you have to and like really plant, and you can cancel it a little bit when you like start to pull it up. You can stop, but you know, once you're swinging, you're swinging. It just felt really meaty, and I liked it a lot. We're oh man, I probably need to adjust this out a little bit. But yeah, we're definitely going to revisit Denizen someday, right? But you know, we're two people and we've got so much to do, so we're just taking it all one day at a time. I mean, it's kind of crazy that we're even working on Deadlock again, because I mean, McSpacebiff isn't done. Let me borrow this from over here. Yeah, you really got to commit to the swing, which, you know, that was the idea of Denizen, is like you're not really a badass, right? You're just kind of like a scholar, just kind of like an average dude who has figured out how to use guns and is like in relatively good shape, right? Well, like he's in good shape, but you know, he can't like insta kill anything with his bare fists. He's a dude. Let's see if this is like, okay, right? I'm doing this with no gun right now. Okay, see if I can get him to chase me. And no. This isn't impossible to do. And you know, right now I'm not even like shooting back or anything. Whoop. I say that and I immediately fall in the water. That would have killed me. Man. And then you add in something like the air dodge. Ooh! I wonder. Yeah, maybe we don't make the water kill you, but it just like electrifies you over time. That almost might be more annoying though. Like just getting shocked and like just like the screen shaking and you having to try and get out of the water. Because there might not be like a quick way back up. Because that's like a delayed death and that just doesn't feel good because there's nothing you can do about it. Whereas like, you know, you touch the water and then immediately die. Oh man, it collides. That's funny. The water is set to collide with everything but the player right now. And the reason that is, give me that magnum, is for this, right? I'm gonna show you here in a second. So it stops them from going in the water. Man, they're just like trying to laser me from 8 miles away. Come here, dude. I'm trying to show something off. You see how they like coast across the top of the water? So we didn't have to do any extra like coding for it. I just made it where the water collides with enemies. The problem with that is this, right? I didn't get all the tags, so things like weapons are just gonna stick on top of the water. Which I could fix, because there's a thing in this shader where you can set things up where they bob with the water, but I didn't really want to do that because this is just extra work, right? This is actually someone else's water shader that I've just really heavily modified to make fit our game style. Let me see if I can show you what it looked like originally. Because Unreal comes with water shaders. Let's see, default. Oop, no, that's not it. This is it. The caustics are something else entirely. That's a volume, so ignore that. But this is what the default water shader looked like, right? And it doesn't look bad. Like, it looks good. But, you know, it just doesn't quite fit the aesthetic. Also, it has like this like weird blurring effect. This feels more like McSpacebiffy, right? Like, it's stylized, but like it's not overly cartoony. It's like that nice happy medium ground. Like, you know, you kind of have those like cartoon ripples that like touch stuff, right? It's like the caustics are definitely over exaggerated. And the watercolor underneath definitely needs work, right? Because it's just too purple right now. Actually, you know what? It's probably purple because of the red light, but still. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time, you know, changing how the underwater feels, because it's just gonna kill you immediately. If we ever allow like swimming or movement underwater in a different level, I'll definitely work on it more, but for now, not worried about it. Especially considering oop, nope. Trying to get like a view. Yeah, because that's good enough, right? If you get to like the water's edge, and then you like look up and see McSpacebiff from under the water while not touching it. It's like, okay, it's blue, whatever. Yeah, mine pops more. Yeah. Well, and I wouldn't even say it's better. I'd just say it's more fitting for McSpacebiff, right? Because the default water in Unreal is really good. It's just not very stylized. And McSpacebiff is a very heavily stylized game. So yeah. Is this using ray tracing in here? Okay, good. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe you probably just fight 2 drones at a time in here. And it's not completely overwhelming. Especially considering when you die, I'm thinking we're gonna spawn you right back here, right? I think, well, that's actually a discussion for a different day, because we haven't completely decided on how we want to handle death in McSpacebiff. We were kind of thinking of doing it in more of a Dark Souls type way at one point, but for levels like this, I don't know if it makes sense. So that's something to consider. Like, do we want it to be different for, you know, campaign type missions versus overworld? I don't know. But one of the you want a setting where you bleed red, white, and blue? Yes, absolutely. That'd probably be like, not like easy, but like relatively simple to set up, right? Because it's just a blood shader. You just add some like stripes in it. But yeah, I'm feeling really good about how this area feels. Obviously, it needs more set dressing and the actual triggers, but that's something we can come back to, right? I'm not like overly worried right now. This needs trim. Gotta put another light over here. Make this one like a blue. Cool, 3D blue. Because white hot blue means electricity. I don't make the rules. That's just a fact. Yeah, it adds a lot of variety. To be honest, I really have gone overboard with this level. Like, a level generally probably shouldn't have this much variety in it, but I'm kind of designing this level in a way where I'm thinking it's probably going to be like our convention demo level, or like a demo we'd like hand out to people. Because it's like McSpacebiff has open world stuff, right? But unfortunately, open world areas tend to not be very good for demos, because people just kind of meander around and don't do all that much. And you want like a demo to be like snappy. It's like you want people to get the hang of it like really, really quick. And even to be honest, this is too big for a demo level. This level will probably be somewhere in the 45-minute range. It's kind of a longer level, especially if we put a boss fight at the end. But what's really good about it is, you know, people passing by in a convention, you know, they see this level being played, they can stand around and watch it and not get like visually bored of it, because there's just a lot of visual variety for what is essentially a dungeon. Like, I could have done a themed level where it's all about water and electricity, and that aesthetic, or it could have been entirely, you know, just dungeon walls and bridges and rock and sand. That'd be completely fine. I could have done a warehouse level that's like nothing but crates. I could have done a level that is nothing but like this like outdoor terrarium type thing, and then, you know, buildings strewn across it. But I want this particular level to kind of show a variety of the types of environments that we have, And, you know, I've already put so much work, and Will's already put so much work into, like, making all these different materials. So I don't see why not. Also, this is kind of how I'm thinking about it. This is we're making like a mini McSpacebiff, right? So you're gonna have the open world. You're gonna, you know, meet some NPCs, do some missions, run around, shoot some things, and there's a variety of environments in that. And then, you know, once you do all the stuff in the overworld, then you finally unlock what is like the dungeon. And then the dungeon has like a bunch of variety. And it's like, that's not necessarily how we would design our worlds and levels in the full McSpacebiff, but the idea is to get across the fact that there is a variety of environments, right? Because people, if you do not show them that you can make a variety of environments, they just assume that's all you can make. Like, one of the biggest problems, like, talking to people about Root, or like showing them Root, is just like, yeah, you just made it all blue neon because that's all you can make. It's like, no, we specifically picked that aesthetic because, you know, we liked the aesthetic, and we were going to change things up in the second and third chapter, but we never got around to being able to make the second and third chapter for, you know, just a myriad of reasons. And it's like, you know, Deadlock had that one like purple arena, but not all the environments are going to be that, like, you know, purple rocky aesthetic. Like, there's going to be industrial stuff, there's going to be like more organic stuff. Ooh, I did not mean to dodge there. Ooh, that would have been bad. I would have died. This kind of feels like those me running around and testing these pylons. Feels like there's like Minecraft parkour videos that you like see on like TikTok and stuff, where it's like the AI voices just like talking about stuff in the background. It's like, I went to the grocery store today and I ran into a dog that had 2 heads. But that wasn't the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing was the checkout girl didn't even address it. And I was like, excuse me, checkout girl, do you not see this dog with 2 heads? And she's like, what are you talking about? And it's like, oh, actually, I'm just insane. I never left my house. I've been a recluse for 10 years. Anyway, thanks for watching my Minecraft parkour tutorial. Just TikTok brain rot slop. I don't know why, but there's always like Subway Surfers or like Temple Run or Minecraft like parkour at the top. The good news is if I can, you know, kind of absent-mindedly make this jump, chances are someone can intentionally make that jump. There's less pressure on me though, because if I die, you know, I just load it back up wherever I want. Oh, man, I really gotta change that laser effect. It's so heavy performance-wise right now, because it's using in fact, I actually don't know what particle effect it's using. I think Will just like grabbed one of the default ones, but the problem is it's like spawning it for every single hit, and it also has a light attached to it, which I think the light casts shadows, and then on top of that, I think the particles collide with stuff. So you'll be like fighting the drone, and you know, the second it's fired, because the frame will like you'll lose like 15 frames, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm getting shot at. It's not even a bug. It's a feature. It's the game giving you a warning shot. I'm trying to remember like how this room worked. Okay, yeah, when you right. Yeah, it's not gonna have drones or these guys. It's gonna be full of grubs. I just put them in there because I got bored of running around in an empty room. All right, well, I think Well, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we should, put some more details in here? Should I like go ahead and drape the cables and, just like get that visual element in here? Maybe add some like computers and stuff? Or should I just go ahead and start moving on to different areas in terms of design? What do you think? Now everyone, let's say it. Now everyone say it at once. Class, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Yeah, the classic like game dev excuse. It's like, oh no, it's doing something cool. It's unexpected, but it's cool. So yeah, totally a feature. I'm also deciding if I want another way out of this room. I don't really see a lot of reason. I don't see a lot of reason for connecting it, but I do like having a more interconnected level. And right now, this room only has one way in, one way out. Also, this just needs set dressing a lot too, because it's not like particularly obvious that this is like a main dungeon area, right? Oh man. And we need like different types of doors, because this is essentially a shortcut room, but this door is the same as like every other type of door. So I guess I could do what I did in Root, just maybe like color and tint them different, give them a different texture. I feel like maybe sticking to the big picture stuff, then go through later with this, with the little stuff. I don't know. It's one of those things that's so tempting because I want to see the whole building done, but those cables and monitors, they call. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like you want to tie off an area and like dust it off and just be like proud of it before you move on to something else, because you still have the vision of this area in your mind clear, but it doesn't make a lot of sense going through and like doing all the little set dressing as you're developing the rest of the level, right? Because you might find that I mean, it seems fine, but you might have to change this up a bit because maybe it just doesn't end up fitting. And then you added all that detail for no reason. It's like you can kind of get away with quick detailing with like a snap kit, but doing stuff like draping these cords about, it does take time, right? This is kind of okay because it's the main hall, and I don't think the main hall is going to change all that much. Yeah, currently there's kind of a problem with like this bit over here definitely needs set dressing, but in terms of like actual level design functionality, it's doing exactly what it's going to be doing. It is a dead end. I'm thinking you're gonna talk to an NPC over here and that's it. And maybe it's just like a pile of boxes or something, but the idea is to imply that there was more level that way, and then, there was a cave-in. But yeah, things like set dressing do help guide the player, right? Like, in the final level, I really need to make sure that people understand that this is, like, this room right here is the hub that you have to keep coming back to. And probably one of the best ways I can do that is to essentially not allow them to go anywhere else until they come to this room. But that's not that fun. Really, it's kind of on me for not designing the level with that in mind to begin with, because originally this was going to be like a very linear level that like snaked you to an eventual end that you kind of got funneled to, and then we decided later, like, okay, let's make this a more open level. Like, it's still okay because the paths are going to snake back to this area here, but it's not like a better hub area would have been right here, right? Because that's where you start, and seeing the goal of a level at the start when it comes to a non-linear level is really good. Again, there's other ways you can kind of bring the character's attention to it. Like, you could have like arrows and like things in the world, or like blood, you know, like scraped this way, or some sort of like big cinematic thing. Like, I could probably open this up more. In fact, I think I definitely want to open that up more. Because now you can see it, right? But originally, that wasn't the idea. So let me actually do that while I'm thinking about it. Does that cut into this room? Yes, it does. That's not great. Again, I need to make like a half wall of the 45 degree. Because it's too useful. I've been like designing around my lack of pieces, that's not what you want to do. That might be okay. No, I don't like that. This should be... I think we're gonna do... like that, maybe? This room should be... This should probably be a glass wall, actually. Not let the player go through it like this. Because I want to drive the player to this room first to kind of show them that this is, in fact, what the goal is. So is there a standard set of pieces you know going into that you want to make, or you make them as you find you need them? Just trying to think about how to keep all that in your head. Yeah, no, there's actually I made like a list of the types of just kits and pieces I know I would want over the course of the years just making levels, right? I mean, we didn't have a snap system back when we made Root, but Root was still all like 45 degree pieces. And well, actually, you know what? We did have a snap system when we first made Root. Like, we made these like squares that you could move in Unity and like vertex snap together. But the problem was their vertex snap system was not very good, and they didn't have, you know, that Bungie world grid system that we're talking about, where like always snaps it to the same grid. So I ended up like deleting those levels entirely and making them in Blender as like a single mesh, and then unwrapping that mesh. But yeah, I have an idea of like the types of shapes and stuff, but you do find as you go, you'll be like, oh, you know what? I do actually need like a quarter panel piece, right? Just like, okay, yeah, it's like I've got the 4x4, but I want the 1x1, and I didn't think to make that, but something like that's like super easy because you just add like a couple loop cuts and you know, delete these faces and then bring those faces in, and then you don't even have to like retexture it. But in a lot of cases, like something like a 45, to make it like line up on the grid system is kind of difficult in modeling, and making sure, you know, again, like this is a perfect example of like it doesn't line up because it was like kind of sloppily and quickly made. But you know, it was worth it to get that piece made, and then, you know, go back and retexture it at a different time. Well, not retexture it, sorry. Readjust the UV layout. Yeah, I'm wanting players to funnel into this room here. It's not a particularly grandiose room at the moment, so I am thinking of making it bigger to really just enforce the fact that yes, this is a hub area, because originally this was like a junction, right? But it's not, nothing about this says like, okay, this is what I'm running through all the time. I mean, this whole area kind of functions as a hub, and it doesn't have to be a hub. It just has to be a central part of the level that the player knows that they have to return to. But there's not like a particular visual indicator, right? But we also just don't have any art for it. And that's like a set dressing thing. I feel like if you saw a giant vault door with like a bunch of different panels and stuff on it, and maybe even when you like first enter the level, like you see like the doors closing and like one of the tendrils from the tripod snake back into it, that'd kind of gain your attention. And we could even do like a cutscene, right? Like where it like, you know, you come out of this door, like after you've like fought this guy, you could like come out of this door. It could like take the camera and just go whoop and like snake down the hall, and then like you see the door like closing, and then like a tendril like going back into it. And then like, you know, we tell you the goal is to go further into the facility or like unlock the vault. That's a thing we could do. That kind of, you know, forces the player to be like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go. But that doesn't explain like why they need the key cards for it. My thoughts are we could probably like put a terminal in the center of the room, like something that is going to be like very standout-ish. That they'll like want to like, and have like a big lever on it that looks like something you'd interact with. And when you click it, it's like says, hey, you needs 3 key cards, right? So then you go looking for the key cards. I'm thinking there could even be like a like we have NPCs, so there's no reason we can't have like an injured colonist just like hanging out next to it, and he could just like give you tips on like stuff he's heard as he's been being, you know, experimented on or whatever. There's so many things to do. But I think just even opening this up here real quick was a good move. One of the rooms I want to do is have like a warehousing room. I feel like thematically this room is something extremely important, right? So it has 3 keys split up between 3 personnel who are supposed to keep them safe and secure, but they've like each died at certain places in the facility. Right. That's kind of my thoughts too. Yeah, like one of the guys is going to be upstairs here, so you can only get to it from fighting your way through this room. The doors up here are going to be one-way doors, so even if you like get to this part from the other portion of the level, you won't be able to push into this arena. And the way this arena is going to work is the moment you walk in, it's going to like shut the blast doors on you, so you have to fight. Yeah, it's going to be a guy died in here. Maybe he got electrocuted or something, or the drones went haywire, or any number of things. Computer could have fallen on him and just crushed him to death. Over here, could have just died under a landslide. Who knows? There's so many ways you could like work out. Oh, maybe they're in charge of the area. Yeah, that's possible too. They definitely should have died though, in some like funny and horrific way. Yeah, definitely all dead. Yeah, the guy in here, I'm thinking, oh, you know what? Yeah. He just got stuck in here because the grubs chewed the power cord. So the doors auto-locked and he just starved to death in this room with no power. So that makes sense for this one. And I'm thinking we're going to do like logs, right? Like, like you just pick it up and you can like read about it. You have their like last logs. Yeah, it totally makes sense because it's like he was in here trying to like flush this area out and all the sand came in and then like a swarm of grubs flooded in, but he was only able to like turn all the a certain number of the servers into the ground so they wouldn't be damaged. And the room went on auto lockdown, and then the grubs just came and like ate the power to it, so it couldn't open back up. So he just starved to death in here. I think it's funny. Someone in the Soviet Union starving to death. The other one, I'm thinking, the guy in charge of like the grub arena, he could have like gotten mauled by the grubs, and maybe they spat acid on him or something, and it got in his lungs, and he can't breathe anymore, so he's like dying, and he climbed up here to die. And then maybe the guy in charge of like the computer room or something died under like a landslide or something. Logs, of course. Gotta have audio logs. Oh man, I want to do audio logs, but the problem is just voice acting. Voice acting is like fun, right? But to like have it hit the same level of quality as like the rest of the game, we're not voice actors, right? And I know a couple people who can do good voicing, But even that's kind of not the problem, right? It's if you... All we gotta do is find a couple of... Yeah. Just, yeah, fly a couple over and just be like, hey man, you wanna voice a Soviet member? But yeah, no, in general, the main problem with doing voice acting for a game with choosable dialogue and like lots of logs is if you go back and change those logs as you're developing it, you have to redo the voice acting. And that's like one of the things that like really hurt Destiny, right? Like they had to rework the story at the last second, and originally Peter Dinklage was going to be Ghost. And you know, cool character, right? But because they changed so much of the story at the last second, they just had to work with basically just Peter Dinklage to do all this exposition, and he had to do like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lines of dialogue. And you know, I don't care how good you are of a voice actor, there's only like so many variations you can like say about things, right, before it like kind of becomes monotonous. But yeah, that's just one of those things where it's voice acting. It's like one of the last things you do, but we want something that's passable as we're developing it. So I think we're gonna go more so with like those kind of Zelda style like barks almost, where they just like make a noise or just they have like a tone, right? Ah, or ooh. Just based off of the context of what they're saying, you could choose from a list of like tones and sounds. So it's like you've got your like disgruntled sound, you've got like your surprised sound, you've got like your happy sound, and you know, you can pitch them and change them a little bit so they're not all exactly the same. And you know, different types of characters have different tones, but making a roster of like 20 of those per character versus hundreds of lines is way quicker. And also I kind of feel like it fits the style of McSpacebiff. Like McSpacebiff is kind of old school gamey, kind of goofy, right? Like it reminds me of a lot of like old like PlayStation 1 and like GameCube type games. So I think like having that kind of tonal personality is not out of character for McSpacebiff. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Man, this level is like getting pretty big. Ooh. Well, I'd be dead. But yeah, that's one of those things that we got to figure out. The original idea for McSpacebiff, and this is something we kind of like, is you know, you keep like most of your money and stuff on your person, and then you have your bag, right? Your bag's got like all your items and your guns and whatever money that you haven't like cashed in. So like any money you collect in the world, if you haven't cashed it in, it's in your bag. And when you die, you drop your bag. And you know, upon respawning, you respawn at you know, key locations. Like, oh, what did we call them? Hold on one second. I don't think we like named it yet. Game model? That's what we named it? Come on, Will. What are you doing? Oh man, yeah, you know it's not done when it's just called game model. Yeah, the idea is these like little backpacks that can be found in the world are essentially checkpoints. Like you have to do a manual save, kind of similar to like games like Dead Space or like Resident Evil, right? You know, you like this thing's actually smaller than it should be, I think. What do you think? But these are save points, but they don't. This is a little too big now, but anyway, you'd find these things throughout the world, and it's your respawn point. So you can like check in with it, and you can't store anything in them, but you can use whatever money you have on you to like buy things from it, because it can fabricate some small things. Yeah, this is basically the typewriter from Resident Evil. Actually, this is probably about right in terms of size, because it's supposed to be like a pretty big, like hefty backpack. Obviously not like this big, but. And we'd put them in spots that are like really evident, and then you'd probably find some NPCs hanging out around them, because it's like a miniature fabricated. Yeah, this is about the right size, but it's essentially like a Dark Souls bonfire. So you save your progress or whatever here. It takes into account like all the stuff you've done, what you had on you, what's on your bag, and from there you can like run out to the world. And if you die, you drop your bag, right? Then you come back and spawn here, and you have a chance to retrieve your bag. But if you can't retrieve your bag, if you cannot retrieve your bag, everything in it disappears. It gets just assumed that like raiders or whatever get it. Wow, yeah, that'd be why it was smaller. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so you like run up to it, hit E on it, save. And you can like, it has a limited amount of like material in it where it can like fabricate something for you, whether it be like maybe like a health pack or some ammo or like a small weapon. But once you've like spent the resources, and you have to have money for it, right? So it's a limit of what you have to spend, and then more importantly, what the bag itself has the resources of. Yeah. But then there would be places in the actual game world, probably not in levels, but in the overworld where you can cash in your money, right? So you can like store it. So it's like your wallet is going to have a limit, and then your bank is going to have a limit of its own that's probably a little larger that you can kind of store things away in. And there's going to be points in the world where you can like buy things like vehicles or call in your friend. When you bring your friend into the game, you're essentially hiring a mercenary, and that's how your friend joins the game. You have to like actually pay in the game to like have your friend join. They're gonna be like super cheap, but we just thought like that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, when your friend dies, you have to buy them back. It's kind of like Dark Souls, where it like it kicks them out, right? Like if you don't have enough money to buy them back, it just boots them. Again, it's not going to be very expensive, though. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go use the restroom. My stomach is a knockin'. But it's not a big deal because now we have this like super cool hangout zone that I've set up. You know, the BRB. I think I'm gonna do the intermission just because I like the music of the intermission more. And shout out to Jonathan for making some dope music all those years ago for Root that we are now using for our streams. So I'm gonna set it to intermission. I'll be right back. Intermission. All right, welcome back. Sorry about that. Made me realize I don't. Okay, I think I figured out the intermission audio. I don't know what was going on with it, but yeah, depending on how late y'all want to go, I could probably go pretty late tonight because tomorrow's a Friday, and I can kind of like go through a Friday with like little to no sleep, right? It's like everyone tends to leave you alone a little bit. Like I can just kind of work on my own and not have to be like super chipper for like company meetings and stuff. The company I work for has a policy where they try not to do meetings on Fridays. Of course, it doesn't apply to me because people are always wanting something from me, but I don't have as many, right? So I can kind of get away with being more tired. I still need to be like awake enough to do my job, but you know, I can look more disheveled, right? I can look like I've, you know, been grave digging all night. So depending on how late y'all want to go, I could probably go to like 1 today. Well, maybe not that late. Maybe I think we'll maybe try and go to midnight tonight just to make up for the fact that the stream last time kind of got cut short due to technical difficulties. Yeah, my bandwidth was just through the ground. Normally the stream runs at about 2,500 kilobytes a second. With I can do more, but it might potentially buffer. But I found that 2,500 is like a nice like medium middle ground. Probably need to hop out at 11. You got a couple hours of sleep at 11 before your 2 a.m. baby shift. Yeah. I don't blame you. Honestly, probably going to 11 is fine. I mean, we're 30 minutes out. It has been a long week. I did not sleep much last night. I spent a lot of time getting like this whole stream system set up, and I also just editing videos and whatnot. I didn't even now I think about it, I didn't even put out a TikTok or YouTube short today, which is I'm slacking. I've been putting one out every day for 2.5, maybe 3 weeks now. Sorry, almost every day. 5 days a week. Sleep is for people who don't want to make videos. Absolutely. Yeah, if you have a full-time job and you also want to make games and you're either a solo dev or working on essentially just a really small team, you're gonna have to sacrifice some Z's if you wanna make some cash. I mean, to be honest, like the cash is a bonus, right? Like I do this for the love of the game. Like I want to make something cool that no one else but me can make because I'm weird and I have a unique perspective on things, and you know, I'm not just going to click a button and generate AI slop. I'm going to like actually put a human touch on things, and you know, maybe it's not as polished, but it's going to be mine. It's going to be something unique. And obviously, you know, it's like, is there anything that's really, truly unique? It's like, no, right? Because every iteration of an idea has more or less been tried or thought of at some point, right? Like, when you think about it, it's like, most books, at their core, it's just like, okay, yeah, it's basically just all Shakespeare. But, you know, maybe it's gonna be Shakespeare with a spin. I hit that guy for nothing. Yeah, dude, the shorts are killing. Dude, the AI simps are everywhere in that Facebook group. It's insane and ravenous. Yeah. What's truly baffling to me is to see so many game devs that are just completely unapologetically shilling for AI, right? And it's like, I'm 100% okay with AI, but as a tool, not as a full replacement. Because if you're trying to make something creative and you're letting AI do all the creative bits, what are you doing? What's the point? Like, you might as well just be, like Will said, just working on some sort of assembly line. Like, you're flooding the market with uninspired garbage that doesn't really offer anything new. Shakespeare's basically Greek tragedy. Yeah, exactly, right? It's just like, Shakespeare's just like, he read, you know, Oedipus and was like, ooh, that's good. I'm gonna take all that drama and then, you know, make my own stuff. But yeah. But to say that how AI copies things is the same as people is completely ridiculous. Like, I saw so many people saying, like, well, people copy stuff all the time, and, you know, there's so much churn and slop that's being copied and pasted by humans. AI is actually a source of fresh inspiration. It's just like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. AI can't come up with anything new on its own. And the way AI operates, especially when it comes to like generating art, is it's basically a step away from Google, right? Where you're like putting in prompts and it's just like searching through a database and mashing those things together. Like, it's not actually making anything new. It's just compiling components of those things. There wasn't like a thought behind it where it's just like, oh, maybe I'll take this idea and then like try and do something with it. Like, maybe expound on it. See if I can make it better. It's just like, okay, no, here's all these things. Let's make a collage of it. And, you know, the quality might be okay, but it's going to be uninspired garbage. And that was like what I was saying about Concord, is all the characters in that game look like they were AI generated. Like, the quality and the fidelity of those characters were good, but the actual design of them was bad. Like, all the colors and contrasts, all the like just general aesthetics and trims and everything in it, they weren't good. They had no interesting identity or shape or visual format to them. Yeah, and the whole but that makes great games stand out thing is crazy. Yeah, no. That is not a good excuse for AI, saying that people making bad stuff makes good stuff stand out. Because by lowering the bar to make something, you're going to generally lower the bar overall of the quality of something. And the more there is of something, the more you have to just sift through it, right? It's like, is it easier to wade through a bucket of sand for a diamond or a septic tank? Well, it's like, technically the septic tank has less resistance, and, you know, you can probably feel for the diamond, but I don't want to wade through a tank of crap. I'd rather like have to like sift through a little bit of sand and it'd be a little bit more work, but in general the volume isn't as bad and it's just not as gross. So yeah, I don't understand it. like, yeah, great games do not jump out at you because the odds of them being seen in just like a deluge of just garbage is crazy. That's insane to me. It's like imagine you like lost your phone at the dump. It's like, yeah, when you see your phone, you're going to be so happy to see your phone, but it's lost in a pile of garbage, right? It's like, I don't know. It's just insane to me that they would so vehemently back AI to the point saying just like even the slop that's generated by AI and people with no inspiration or talent is a good thing for people who are making handcrafted stuff. Nope, you're actually wrong. Like generally I think opinions are objective, but you're wrong, right? Like, yeah. After you have a fire hose full of piss blasted at you for an hour, lemonade's gonna taste pretty good by comparison. I don't want to have to deal with that, though, to get that glass of lemonade. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox here. Well, speaking of handcrafted, this level's turning out pretty okay. It might be getting too big for the amount of playtime we want for it, but I'd rather be, too big and kind of pare it back. It's not a soapbox, it's a hill, and we shall die on it. Yeah. You shouldn't die on every hill, but this is one worth dying on. I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, I think this is probably a pretty good stopping point because we've got a lot of work done on this area here. Between there being essentially two variants of the room now, where there's the water and then these pylons go back into the ground. And I think for the next stream we do, I'll probably think about the next type of arena and area I want to build before we go to it. Because I want it to be kind of a faster process. Working with y'all on the stream, it's not a way I generally operate. I generally have at least like a little bit of a plan before I go in, but I thought kind of working with people dynamically in the chat could be an interesting way to do things. Because this is also a way I do levels, right? This is how I make a lot of, in the past, I've made like a lot of multiplayer levels for games like Halo. So it's like very impromptu, right? But I think just for speed's sake, the next area I work on, I'm going to kind of go in with a little bit more of a game plan and then just kind of freeform it with y'all as I'm building it. But kind of have an overall idea because, the best part of the level in terms of like gameplay ideas, I think are probably here, right? Like this was definitely a thing that was inspired in the cusp of the moment, right? And that is why I do like doing things freeform, because you kind of get these like ideas as you go, and if you stay too close to what I call like a level design syllabus, it kind of boxes you in from trying some cooler things because you just want to work through it. But I think a mix of the two is a good idea. Yeah. Every time we zoom out, it's just kind of awesome to behold. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, it's definitely coming together, and it is starting to feel more like a facility, right? Instead of just a string of hallways. So, yeah, I think it's almost 11 o'clock, so we'll cut it off a little early, and soon enough is basically once this level's done, I'm gonna start working on some Deadlock stuff. I think that'll be really interesting to stream, to kind of build a level and then maybe go into VR to show you, you know, the difference in perspective from level design and then VR. Obviously, you can't get that entirely across on stream, but I think VR level design is going to be really fun to do collaboratively. So I think we're going to leave it off here, and yeah, see all y'all next time. Thanks for hanging out.